That looks amazing. Let's get some air. Scoot. It's one of those things on a bike you really do have to check it like weekly. It was on 32. I knew it. 36 rear, so yeah, let's pump this up to 40. They told me off for sitting on the bike last time. Luckily I've got a centre stand so I can still stand up, have the bike upright, just so you get a bit more fuel in. When you put it on its side, it's a bit harder to tell how much you're putting in. So if you watch this video to the end, guys, you'll help me out with fuel. Drop a like and subscribe for the algorithm so I can fill this bike up again. You think I'm joking? I'm not. That's the reality that we live in now. It's actually crazy that, yeah, we're generating pennies through videos. Absolutely love it. Don't know if you can see in the mirror, lovely FUZE hoodies on, keeping me nice and warm today. This bike's going to feel completely different now that I've actually got the right amount of air in. I think it's because I've been hitting so many potholes, to be honest. I actually do think that's a big thing. I've been hitting so many potholes recently that I'm probably just bashing the air out of my tyres. But saying that, running that lower tyre pressure on those corners the other day really did give me a lot of extra grip. It just felt like the bike was almost sponging into the corners. Not bouncing, but just like you could feel like it was more of a flatter surface on the floor, and I had way more grip to swing it round. So I bet that's what they do, don't they, on track days? They have what do you call it, lower tyre pressure to gain a little bit more grip. Not loads, but like I'd reckon they take about 3-4 tyre pressure down to about 34 front, 36 rear maybe. Because it definitely does make a difference. What was the title of this video? Oh, what bike to buy? I found it so confusing when I was getting started. Not for the 125s, because I feel like 125s, it's just, they're all the fucking same, do you know what I mean? They don't go anywhere, I don't really care what I was riding. I was on a cruiser, I was on a Keyway Superline 125. Heavy thing, about 9 horsepower. And I was just having fun on that, I didn't really care. I wasn't really thinking about too much about bikes, because I'd only really just got into bikes, like properly, at about 23. When I got that 125, so I did my direct access. Obviously you get put on we got put on the Kawasaki naked bikes, which were quite nice to ride. But then it got to me coming up to me doing my test, and I was like, right, what do I actually want? Like, what do I get? And I didn't really know much about bikes, and I was like watching all these videos. I was like, naked bikes. I was looking at the Bandit GSF 650S, the bikini fairing. I'll put it on screen. I was looking at that, like the lower version of my dad's. Then I was looking at naked bikes. I wasn't really looking at cruisers anymore. I kind of got out of that phase quickly. So I realised I wanted to actually have fun. No, I'm joking. You can have fun on a cruiser, but it just wasn't really for me coming into the bigger bikes. And then it didn't even cross my mind about sport bikes. I was like, oh wait, I can get a sports bike. And then I was looking, and I was like, okay, and I just started researching, and then found the cheapest one for the best price, for the goodest like performance and quality, and that was the 600F. Was like the best sort of for each one of those: price, performance, and reliability, and things like that, and looks. It's a big thing for me, and I liked the look of it, so that's why I went with this. But a thing that helped me decide what I want, because I wasn't going to get a sport bike because they were impractical. But then I was watching videos and I was like, wait, a lot of it's just based on where you live, to what's practical and what isn't practical. And then I was like, actually, that actually makes the decision more about what bike you should get as opposed to what bike you want, depending on where you live, who you ride with, and what you want to do. Those three things are like a big playing point into what bike to choose, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier when you go through that little checklist. So, say you lived in London, middle of the city, you probably don't want to go and buy an R1 if you live central London that you can barely even get out of 40-mile-an-hour zones. Why would you go buy an R1 in the middle of the city? Probably not the smartest choice. You might go for something more flickable, like a naked bike with a load of low-end torque that you can play around with, or maybe, oh my god, these tyres feel absolutely amazing now. Or maybe even like a little scrambler, like a Triumph Scrambler, or just something a bit more usable. And then say you were on like these nice windy country areas, well then you'd go for something more like maybe a cruiser if you wanted that sort of chilled out back lane style, or a sports bike if you wanted to actually send it down those lanes. And then that is what kind of helped me make up my mind, because I was like, wait, I live in a town surrounded by dual carriageways and country lanes. I ride with people like my dad and my mechanic. I call him a mechanic, James. What do you call him as if he's a fucking employee? James and Dad and Carl and everyone, they all ride sport bikes and fast bikes. So I was like, well, if I get a bloody cruiser, I'm just going to be left at the back, probably not going to have that much fun and be left out. And if I'm on a naked bike, we're on a lot of open roads around here, like all the time we're on open roads, so a lot of it is just going to be, hold on, let me get past these guys. A lot of it is just going to be open roads, so that narrowed it down to a cruiser versus a sport bike. And I was like, mate, I want a sport bike, they're loud, they're fast, they're fun. So that's where I went and made my decision. So I think that's just the 3 points you should look at when you're trying to figure out what bike to get. Don't worry about not knowing anything about bikes. I didn't have a clue. Just YouTube, talk to different people. Everyone's got their own preferences of what they'll tell you is right. So just weigh up all those different options, listen to everyone, and then make up your own mind based off all of that. I've got my little mount here that I'm going to keep now, so when I pull up to places like when I go get this drink from this lovely little cafe, I will be able to flip the camera around, and then while I'm having my little drink, you guys will be able to see me and I'll be able to talk to you just through the camera's audio and have a little chat while we're sat there, just to switch up the angles. I can't do it all the time. I made a dedicated video for the look back shot, go watch that if you want. But in an ideal world, I would just have a camera always here anyway that I can switch between, which we will do in the future, but right now I'm trying to, you know, budget. We're still very much getting by at the moment. I'm freelancing with my camera still and all that sort of stuff, which is a bit here and there in terms of work. And then once YouTube gets to the point where I can, you know, actually live off of it, then we'll be all good. But for now, we're still on the grind. Recommendations for bikes, I guess, in each class. Naked bikes, I'd probably recommend like the Triumph Trident or the MT-07 is a good safe bet that everyone goes for. Maybe even the Kawasaki's that we rode our tests on. I don't know what they're called. I'll try and find it and put it on the screen. They were really good actually. Oh god, what the hell's happened here? What was all that about? And then sport bike wise, yeah, I would say the 600F 100%. Try go for the carbureted one, it's a little bit cheaper and it's better on fuel. Fuel injected's a bit, especially the first generation of the F4i is a bit dodge fuel wise. A little bit more horsepower obviously, but I think the carbureted's better. What other sport bikes could you start on? An R7 is quite popular to start on. An R6 maybe. To be fair, you can start on whatever bike when it comes to sport bikes, naked bikes. It doesn't really matter the power. I'm just thinking of cheaper options, but it's one of those things, you control how fast the bike goes. And 1,000, yeah, that might be a bit stupid. Go 600, the power's in the top end, so you've got to drive like an idiot to even get yourself into trouble power wise. Like right now, if I full throttle it, where am I going? Where am I going? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So yeah, 600s, I'd just go for any that you like the look of really. Try and get yourself a cheap one. Don't go too crazy just in case you drop it. Don't buy a V4, do you know what I mean? And then cruisers, what was I looking at when I was a cruiser boy? When I thought I was going to be a Harley rider. I was going, what was I looking at? I can't remember. The Honda Shadow is what I was looking at. I don't know why, I was like proper obsessed with it. I was like, yeah mate, I want a Honda Shadow. Oh yeah, big boots and a fucking leather jacket. That changed quickly, but yeah, I was looking at the Honda Shadow, maybe even, I don't know what other ones there are really that you could look at. I'm not really a cruiser kind of guy, so So leave it down in the comments any recommendations you guys have got for bikes that people are thinking of to get once you've chosen your category based on where you live and stuff. I would try to spend more than £2,000 to be honest. I paid 1.8 for this bike. It's got 24,000 miles on it when I brought it. It was in mint condition, do you know what I mean? Like everything was nice and clean. Really good example of these bikes. 24 years old. 1.8. Insurance was about 800, which wasn't too bad either, considering this was my first bike. As opposed to 125, but I literally had that for 2 months. So yeah, I would try to go with that. You don't want to go nuts, do you know what I mean? You're just past. You don't want to go crazy. What is this Tesla doing? Jeez. I guess that's where the electric power comes in handy. He flew around there. Acceleration on those things are crazy. Just would never catch me in one. Not for me. I'd rather have an MX-5, mate. Throw back to my MX-5. You guys never saw it. Before I made this channel, I had an MX-5. No, wait, no, you did see it. I did the whole episodes where I was going to buy the new car because I had to ride my bike through the winter and like the ice and stuff. What the hell? Look at those holes. What is going on? Hey, the roads around here are so bad. Yeah, I had an MX-5. That was so fun. Speed camera down here on a downhill steep. This is such a stupid camera. Luckily, second gear, I think it is, I'm in. When you go down, engine brakes you to 30 miles an hour anyway. I would say, depending on what bike you choose, depends on how safe you are, but it's not really. It is and it isn't. It's down to you. Do you know what I mean? You could buy a cruiser and rag it like an idiot and get yourself into trouble. Obviously, sport bikes have got a worse name, but yeah, if you buy a sport bike, you're probably going to do a little bit more of the adventurous stuff, let's be honest, and get yourself into a little bit more trouble maybe. But bikes are just dangerous in general. Like, you're going to get pulled out on, you're more risk of like sending it straight into a bush. She was about to say, did you jump out in front of me? There's a lot more that could go wrong on a bike than they could in a car. You're protected in a car, you're not really on a bike. You make a mistake, you're on the floor. But I guess certain bikes have certain tendencies, like, don't get me wrong, this is a sport bike, you got to rev the piss out of it and you want to lean it over. A bit more risky. Cruisers, not that crazy, you probably take it a bit more chill. So I guess it takes a factor in as like how much risk do you want to take. I guess could play a factor in what bike you buy. I don't know. I think it's all the same really though. You can get yourself into trouble on anything. You ready? Oh mate, this bike sounds so good. I do want a different system though, because it's quite a long can, so you only hear the noise and the tone of it up the top are the RPMs. Low down you don't really, you do hear it, but it's not as like rich of a tone. All the water on the, that would be nice to live. I'd like to live up there. Because don't get me wrong, I'm quite central of the country. I do like where I live because there's a lot of stuff around me. I've got a lot of options. It's just the town I live in. I've always lived in it and I don't really want to just live there my whole life. But I would happily like live outside of it, like in a place like this. This is nice as hell. I imagine like, I don't know, one of these houses here. They probably wouldn't like the fact if I had loads of bikes, but still, nice quiet little village on the outside of everything. And then I'm still like around the scene. Look at that. I guess this has turned into a house shopping video. But this is me, do you know what I mean? I love being out in the countryside. I could never, ever live in this city. I hate it. I lived in the city when I used to perform, and mate, hated it. Absolutely hated it. It's not for me at all. This is where I'm at, do you know what I mean? Little farmer's village or something. That's a bit of me. I better not got in my jacket. I felt that on my neck. That was a wasp. Ah. Imagine. I will strip these clothes off real quick if that is the case. If that's the case. This place is nice though. Look at this place. I love it. Should we stop? Yeah, go on then. Let's stop for a second. It's just what I'm not stopping near that gate because it's too dodgy floor, but I'll put it here. Oh god, that is just sunken into the ground. I'll do. Oh god, it's actually quite hot today. Look at all the horsies. All the horses. Why is this covered in water? Oh, it did rain loads yesterday. Water. Well, isn't that peaceful? Hello, horses. All we need now is a train to go across the bridge, and that would be perfect for the thumbnail. Dream going straight under the water there, under the bridge. That's so high. But really rained yesterday. All the horses just stood in the rain. God, look at my bike. God, I love it. The colour variation. I was thinking about changing it, but to be fair, it does look sick. God, this is well nice. I should bring a little packed lunch out here. This would be a perfect date spot, do you know what I mean? And get a little backpack on the back, bring it to the secret bridge with the water and the horses. Mate, that's how you do it. Just there's no backpack on there. That's funny. God, it's so nice as well. It's hot. They've got jackets on. Why have they got jackets on? So yes, I was thinking full red with white accents. Could look cool still, to be fair. But from the back, the white to the blue, it does look really good, to be fair. I'll tell you what I hate though. These forks. These stupid like cement concrete looking forks. I hate them. I want those nice gold and black forks that people have. Do you reckon I can put them on there? Do you reckon I can just change the forks and have different ones? Because I would prefer that. Rear hugger doing its job. None of this is dirty anymore, which is nice. Anyway. No, I won't rev it. I don't want to scare the horses. I'll be a respectful nature boy. Ugh. Right. Whee. They're all looking at me because they can hear the bike. Hola! Look at that for a scenic route. Look at this as well, you've got the water. Oh, that's actually a good shot there. I'm sorry, I'm turning around for that. Sorry guys, I got you for the thumbnail. Thumbnail with a camera. And then I'll do a thumbnail with my actual phone because I just want to have that picture for myself. Look at that! Perfect! This is so sick! It's crazy, this is like half an hour from like my shitty town. You just gotta know where to go. Even if you live in bad places, there's always good little secret spots. It's turned into a sightseeing video. And also helping you figure out what bike to get. I think, in my opinion, obviously differs to where you live, but I think sport bikes, personally, they're just so much fun. I just love them. And you get the power and the wind protection still. Naked bikes, it's just too much of a trade-off of that wind for me. I know people say they love them and they swear by them, but they all complain about the wind, and I know they hate it, they just don't want to admit it. It's just too much. Can't enjoy a ride if I'm getting blasted with wind constantly. It's so annoying when you just want to chill out. And you can buy wind things for them and stuff like that, but they're just not that great, let's be honest. I still get it. Still get that wind. Sport sport bikes is just where it's at for me. But yeah, I'd say sport bikes, if you're asking me my opinion of what you think you should get, I think a sport bike, as long as you don't live in the middle of a city where you can't barely get out and you're never going to be able to get on these nice roads. Other than that, sport bike all day, mate. All day long. And if it's a first sport bike, save yourself some money, go for the 600F. It's a great bike and it surprises a lot of people because it's nippy. We're going to go some bigger jets on the carbs and stuff on this one as well, so we're going to really tune this thing up to get some nice performance out of it. Don't get me wrong, it still goes, but some of the guys I ride with have got like 120 on their 600s horsepower and I've got 97, so a little bit more juice would be nice. But it's not necessary around corners anyway, do you know what I mean? We've all got the same speed around the corners because it's more about how big are your balls to get yourself around that corner. Back it up. How you doing? Can I just get a Diet Coke, please? Yeah. Just £1.80, mate. Be lovely. Nice one. I love that place. Proper nice. Nice people. Yeah, moral of the story. Where you live is the main factor of what bike you get. And then from there, who you ride with, what you want to ride like, and have access to. No wind, loads of speed, comfort. It's from there. But it starts with where you actually live is the main one that you should be looking at for what bike to get. Well, thanks for watching. Remember, the jumper you're looking at right now is available to the 5th of May. Get your own FUZE hoodie, and then after the 5th of May there's going to be a lot more designs coming out. The website will be up live from there where you can order whenever you want, which is going to be really, really cool. But thanks to everyone who already has ordered and that watches the videos to the end and likes and subscribes, because yeah, it helps me out a lot. I appreciate it. I will see you guys later. Ride safe. Yeah.